Hello and welcome to the Heed Army podcast. What a weekend we've had, and what a week potentially ahead of us, Mickey.
Potentially.
I know. We're not going to get too carried away, but it is the Heed Army podcast. If you are new to us, welcome. What this is all about is about Gator Football Club, of course. And we want you to send in all your thoughts and views on everything that's going on. We'll be focusing on the game on Saturday, just gone. A great victory coming from behind against Alfreton, with Greg Ollie giving a captain's performance and winning the game in the dying moments of the game. And then obviously tomorrow night, Gateshead are away at Altrincham in the first round FA Cup replay, with that magical game on television against Charlton Athletic in the offering for either side. So a lot to talk about. So please, before we start, you can see around our screen just above me and below Mickey. Please follow us on the social medias. And down below, that way there, please subscribe to the channel and help us reach more people, because that's what we want to do. And a big thank you as well. If you're listening from further afield, I can't make it to home games, I've been listening to our commentary of late. We are very, very grateful, because we weren't on last week, so unable to do the show. But the FA Cup replay, the FA Cup first round, the home game against Altrincham, there was 4 commentary services on, and we were very, very grateful that people stuck with us and listened to us. There was the 2 BBCs and there was an Altrincham commentary, and we'd like to say a massive thank you for everyone that joined us. It really means a lot. And we've got lots of messages coming in already. Mason Ford has put, evening gents, looking forward to tomorrow. I think everybody is. Gordon Manners, evening lads, how are you doing tonight?
Evening.
Really good, but nervous. And Charles Waff, good evening, lad. Hello there, Charles. And we've got another one here. Good evening, lads. How are you? Great result on Saturday against Alfreton Town. Good luck to the Heed Army tomorrow in the FA Cup replay. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Just before we go any little bit further, we are going to be joined by Mark Crovers in about 10 minutes as well to talk about it, because also as well, there's been another draw made today. FA Trophy filed away. Not the team you want to pull out, but then again, they'll be thinking the same thing about us. I know they beat us 2-0 in the league fixture, but it was definitely wasn't a walkover. And also as well, we've got some something to talk about as well from the comments made from the Alfreton Town manager after the game as well. Very honest and very complimentary from him. So that's just, it's all to talk about. But Mickey, we're going to play out the highlights and talk on them shortly. David Jones put evening lads there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, David.
I mean, what a way to leave the ground. I was on a high for a good few hours. Adrenaline was pumping, and what a way to put to bed the demons of the way we didn't win the game the week before.
Well, Alfreton fell into the same trap, exactly the same trap we fell into, trying to kill the game off, wasting so much time, and it come back to bite them on the arse. It happened to us against Altrincham.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Greg Ollie's goal, what a goal. What a goal.
It was a beautiful
Forrest
run.
Gump money.
He certainly was.
We're going to shout, stop!
He just kept motoring, didn't he? That's it. And also as well, the crowds, 5th game in a row over 1,000. I mean, that is just phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And what I want about the crowd, clothesline have been brilliant most of the season, but on Saturday I thought they were extra special. Stuck with the lads, kept singing. And obviously, when the first goal went in, it got louder and louder, and they were fantastic. Hats off to all them people up there who sing up. And you're finding now, David, as well as people around us singing as well.
Yeah, it's traveling along the stand, isn't it? Which is just phenomenal. I mean, we say it every week, but the people behind the scenes working at the club are doing an absolutely magnificent job. And the hard work is starting to bear fruits, isn't it? It's and long may it continue. So we've got another message here. Mr. Luke, he's put, hi gents, cannot wait for tomorrow's game against Alty. Hopefully we can make it through. Also love the game against Alfreton, such drama at the end. And I mean, Jack McGragan put up a great little snippet of video there of the players coming off with a reaction. They were geeing up the crowd. They were just loving it themselves. And you could sense the relief, as if to say, well, that we go into Tuesday's night on the back of a high.
Yeah, definitely. But if they keep doing this, I'm telling you, I'm going to be scrubbing my underpants with Vim and a hard brush. I'm going to be taking this every week.
You mean you're not already, Mickey? Well,
not yet. Honest. I'm gonna start wearing me dark ones and not me tighty whiteys.
Well, I learned that lesson a long time ago. Always wear dark coloured underpants when we're going to play a quick advert from our sponsors. We thank them very much for their continued support, because we wouldn't be able to broadcast without them. And this is a little advert for them. Well, the man, Greg Ollie, was given the captain's armband, of course, in pre-season. And there was a few conversations I had, obviously Mark Crovers is going to come on very shortly, and with Paul Dixon. And when we found out he was getting the captain's armband, we found out a little bit earlier than it had been announced. The first thing that Paul Dixon said was that, well, this is the season where Greg Ollie steps up. And we've seen captain's performances throughout this season. He has played like a captain. He's never shirked anything. He's never hid. He's always been running. He's the last man off the pitch. And the way he grabbed that ball and ran forward, he had one thing on his mind, and, the defence were frightened to touch him, and his finish was sublime. And, we talk about a lot of the players over the last few weeks have all put in great performances. But Greg Ollie there, I think, just needs just a little special mention, because that was a special goal, and could potentially start us off onto something very exciting.
I think Greg's the other player of the season. I mean, Kedman's going to be in there, McCauley's going to be in there, and then you're looking at Greg. Them three so far this season have been catalysts to the performances, to be fair. I mean, I'm not right on seeing that the rest of them aren't doing it, but I mean,
yeah, it's I mean, there's a lot of unsung heroes going about at the minute as well.
Beals for a start.
We've seen him playing in midfield predominantly this season. He went to a back three, part of the back five, three centre backs. And he was phenomenal. His movement, he was covering every blade of grass. He was seamlessly moving into positions to cover for other players. Like when Matty Jake was going further forward, he would push up into the left wing back position to cover that in defensive duties. Then you'd have Hunter drop back as well. It was a beautiful, seamless bit of tactics from the lads. They worked hard. They had an understanding, and they knew where they had to be on the pitch.
Definitely. I mean, because Alfreton come to kill the game, didn't they?
Yeah,
we fell into their trap.
I think I said to you either after the game or I think there's a small one, we made a little chat before the show, that the Alfreton came with a job, and they've got Matt Reid, and what a player he is. It might be boring to some people, the long ball, but he executed that delivery to him, either chesting it on, bringing the ball down, nodding it on, controlling it and trying to move it himself. He was an absolute menace. What a player. And
supreme target man when he
probably
played the role fantastic.
One of the best I've seen. And I mean, they had Yusuf Cisse as well on the left wing, was causing us,
he was quick. His final ball was hopeless.
Yeah, but his pace could cause trouble, and that was the big thing, wasn't it? But we stayed resolute. We kept to our game, and you've heard Mike Williamson talk in post-match interviews that they stick to the plan, they believe in the plan, and and it'll bear fruit, and that's what happened. And we always look like we're going to get something out of a game. Always look like we're going to score. It's just whether they can keep that unit going as one, and hopefully they can.
Definitely. I mean, wow. I mean, what we're going to be like when we actually fill a bench.
I know that's the other thing. Obviously, with Blackett, Greenfield, Forbes, all injured, and hopefully they'll be close to being on the bench. Luke Williams came back as well. Nearly scored his first touch, which we'll have a look at in the highlights, and we'll put them on soon when we're talking to Mark. Caroline Silsper, good evening, gents. Good to be back at the football following isolation. It was great.
Yeah,
Caroline safe well. And Mr. Votes, I love Langstaff every time we win after the game. Yeah, he's definitely enjoying his second spell here at Gateshead. Amber Douglas from GFC Ladies has put, evening, lads. Hello, Amber.
Evening, Amber.
Nice to have you back. Mr. Luke, if we don't win against Alty tomorrow, I can say the FA Cup season has been truly most excellent and dramatic so far. It certainly has, but anything can happen. And as I've said to Mickey, I'm trying not to get excited or worried at the same time. And Mark Fraser's put big Kedwin Scott. Well, he predicted he would score, and when we were doing a commentary, and he did. Right. Well, talking about one big man to another, we've got the big man in Northeast non-league journalists.
Journalism, yeah.
Although he looked as if to say, "Where's he going with that?" I could say
that took a while, didn't it?
I got there in the end. But Mark, welcome to the show. It's always great to have you on. And so we just talked before you came on about how that result of the weekend could be a fantastic springboard into Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Alfreton a couple of times this season, and it's never a pretty game. It's never. It's always a battle. So I think maybe Gates had answered a few questions on Saturday. With what went on against Altrincham the week before, having that 2-goal lead, letting them back into the game, and obviously forcing tomorrow night's replay. But I think Gates have answered a few questions about there needed to be questions, but about their what's the word I'm looking for?
Game management.
About the mental strength, maybe. Just to see a game out, to get back into a game and come through a battle, which Saturday unquestionably was. I mean, the composure that Greg scored when he scored. Sorry, the composure that he showed when he scored.
Not just me, words out tonight.
I know I'm struggling here.
It's that big build-up.
Yeah, I can't handle the pressure. That's what it is. He showed remarkable composure to finish at that point in the game and to produce that sort of finish. But I think to beat a team like Alfreton the way they did will be a massive boost to finally get around to answering your question. And it adds momentum into tomorrow night, and I think it could be one of the biggest wins of the season.
Yeah, it's obviously, regardless of what happens on Tuesday night, we've got to carry that league form on to Spennymoor the following Saturday, which is another massive game. Spennymoor not in the greatest of form, but we'll probably concentrate on that a little bit later on. But since we last were on air, obviously the FA Cup draw was made, and then there was the news about the game potentially being on television it is going to be on television for either side, whoever gets through. That adds so much to it because both clubs, the levels that they're at respectively, it's potentially £100,000 game. That is, season-changing money for either club.
Yeah, I think if you look at it from Gateshead's point of view first, it's a chance to have a former Premier League club coming to the International Stadium on a Friday night. I know it's going to be on TV, but I think a lot of people will want to be there for the occasion. And it would, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves, but it would give this new ownership, if we can still call them that, given we're 2.5 years down the line, a chance to really celebrate a landmark moment and possibly one of the first big ones in their time owning the club. However, we can't look beyond tomorrow night and what is a very, very, very tough game. Altrincham will be buoyed by their comeback on Saturday when they came back to get a late draw against a very strong side. they will have players that have been out with COVID and players that have been out with injury that are another step towards full fitness. So I think, you'll see a stronger Altrincham side tomorrow night, but I also think they'll see a stronger Gateshead side. And I didn't see anything in that first game that led me to think that Gateshead should fear Altrincham. That's not to say it's not going to be a difficult game. I just didn't see anything they should fear.
Definitely. And just while we're on about the Altrincham game, it is all ticket, and there's a bit of a reduced capacity down there at Altrincham as well. Not that I think there's going to be over what the capacity is, but it's down to 2,300 and something. So it is all ticket. So if you're going down or you're going to go in last minute, make sure you get your ticket online before you get there. And that's very important because you don't want everyone to have a wasted trip. But yeah, definitely it's just going to be a magnificent occasion. And so our friend Paul Dixon will be covering it for BBC Radio Newcastle. So that's fantastic that the coverage is going to be easy to access for all of us up here in the Northeast. And hopefully they can talk us through to a win. But just while you're on, Mark, I'm just going to, I'll just put add this into the stream here. Let's say the highlights from Saturday. It was a different lineup. As well, there was a few players rested or injured. Ryan Womble come in to play right wing back, and we had Owen Bailey drop into the back three. And I know we've spoke at length many times about, this is stuttering here, we might have to take it off. But Owen Bailey, he's caught the eye a lot, but he dropped into the back three and was just, looked really comfortable there. And it's another shot in the arm for Mike Williamson for his selection headaches.
Owen Bailey played that position numerous times for Newcastle's under-23, so it's not a position that's foreign to him. He played there on a regular basis.
Not working. I'll take it off. It wasn't working.
To be fair, Dave, I thought we were going to hear your commentary on the winner there, and Mike Dobbs didn't come in, so only T would have heard the note that you hit there.
Apparently, the marine expert said there was whales out at sea covering the blowholes to the ground.
But I think Owen, he had to find his way into the side because he signed quite late on, didn't he? And sort of a couple of days before the start of the season. But I think he's come in now, and I think he's at ease with the club. I think there's people around him that he knows from his time at Newcastle, and just from being around the non-league scene in general. And I think he'll go on to become an essential part of the side. I really do. Whether that's as a kind of holding midfielder or a box-to-box midfielder, or whether that's to play as that sort of right-sided centre-back. Yeah. He gives Mike a bit of versatility. He gives him another option in both positions. And I guess if you were going to point to a position where Gateshead maybe do need another player, it possibly would be a centre-back, someone who can fill in there. I know Elliot Forbes is still making his way back. You've got Mike and Louis Story, but maybe that's another option, to drop Owen in when it's needed, particularly in a three. I think if it's in a three, he's more than comfortable in that role. But I thought he was man of the match in the first game against Altrincham. I thought he had a great game, just, disciplined, solid, did everything you want from the sort of player that he is.
And higher up the pitch as well, we talk about new signings. I mean, Luke Williams is a new signing. We've only seen him once in a league game. And he come on, nearly scored with his first touch, looked sharp. And obviously we know Blackett is always very dangerous when he comes off the bench, but to have another attacking option really is, it's another fantastic thing having a bench, but it's when we get a full bench is the question, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, and it'll come. It's a little patch, but it will hand chances to players as well. And Luke could be one of them. He's had a horrendous time with injuries, not just during his time at Gateshead, but at Hartlepool as well. He sort of shows what he can do and then picks up an injury. He doesn't seem to be one of these players that picks up a niggle. It's always a really bad injury, So hopefully he gets a chance to show what he can do and stays fit, because he'll be a big asset. He is, for me, someone playing probably beneath his level. One of a number of players in Gateshead squad, I think, is, and could definitely play higher. And hopefully he'll get the chance to show that with Gateshead. But he will be a big player if he can stay fit.
It's definitely a one to have. But as I said, we got a message here from David Tron. He's put Alfreton were time wasting for 20 minutes. It wasn't their keeper. To be honest, that was a bit of a pet hate. They did seem to time waste from very early on. And I don't know if it wouldn't have been the highlights, but when we were 2-1 up, I can't remember if it was Kedwin Scott or McCoy Langstaff that kicked the ball away between the sub benches, and all of a sudden the Alfreton sub bench was up in arms screaming time wasting. So it was a bit of a karma there, but yeah, it's that's what you get with Alfreton. They come with a game plan, and they execute it well. That's the best way to put it, isn't it?
They're one of these sides that I think there's a few of them, to be honest, in the National League North, where they play the game well, and they try and annoy teams and put them off their stride. And I'm not one of these purists that thinks everyone should try and play ticky-taka football and keep it on the floor and everyone's nice and Corinthian spirit and all that. There's a part. Billy Heath, the manager, I've known Billy for about 6 or 7 years now, and his sides are always very good at disrupting the flow of the game and using it to their advantage. I remember his North Ferriby side were.
I was going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, they had people like Tom Denton, and they played around him and in his strength. And I think it says a lot about Gateshead, and as I said earlier, the mental strength that they've come through a tough test in that. I will apologise. I'm keeping one eye on the England game here as well.
It's 9-0.
Yeah,
it's 10-0.
No, it's 10-0.
10-0. Yeah.
So I think looking at Saturday, it just shows that this Gateshead side, and it's all about process, isn't it? We hear that, Mike and Busted talking about process and continuous improvement. I think that's what you're seeing here. Is just a little bit of improvement when it comes to the mental side of the game and overcoming those little battles during a game.
There was you mentioned the Alfreton manager, and Mickey sent me a post-match interview that was put up on, I think it was their YouTube channel, Alfreton, and he was very complimentary about Gateshead. Said that I think he could have been a bit bitter about the way they conceded, but he wasn't. He said it was just they switched off. I think that they had a golden chance to win it themselves about 30 seconds before.
Yeah,
but he was very complimentary about Gateshead, and he said whoever finishes above Gateshead will win the league, and that was nice to hear because not many managers will go out and praise another side just after a defeat, and he recognised there was something there. And what was the heartwarming things from that is that possibly we're not at the full strength at the minute, not with a full strength a squad of players to select from.
Well, I noticed it's 11 now, by the way. Sorry. I noticed no, it's still 10, being disallowed. I think it was last week. Anthony Johnson, one of the joint managers at Chester, got asked on Twitter who the best side he'd seen this season was, and he said Gateshead because they've got a plan, they've got a process to work to. And I think I said it on Twitter at the start of the season that when the odds came out that Gateshead 20-1, and I was utterly stunned by that. I think it's very generous.
You get on.
I'm not gonna.
Mickey Cubbins had a few bob on it apparently.
We're not talking about that.
I'm not going to say.
Now it's all right.
I'm not going to say how much I may or may not have put on because my missus is just next door. So, but yeah, I mean, for me, 20-1 was extremely generous odds for a side that are full time that added to improve on where the weakness was last year, which was top end of the pitch. And all the signs in pre-season were that the team was coming together quite nicely. So I think it's not a surprise to hear opposition managers praising Gateshead, because I look at the style of play, you look at the system in place and the support in place behind the scenes, and everything's geared towards moving the club on, moving the team on, and I think we'll see more of that second half of the season.
And just moving away from Gateshead's results, of course, we had a game called off due to the COVID, and then we've had the FA Cup game as well. The National League North results have been very, very kind to Gateshead, involving the teams up the top as well, haven't they?
They certainly have, and I don't think I'll be the only one that's looked at results coming in and thought that straight away was, wow, this is kind of falling into place now. But what I would say is that should also come with a warning that you can't take any game for granted. So, if Gateshead do go to a side that are struggling, it's not as if they can just go and roll them over. You can't roll those standards.
Well, I think Mickey said before, Live Spartans, you wouldn't be shocked if Robbie Dale rolls back the years in the Derby game. That's not a given, even though that the bottom of the league. Spennymoor not in a great run of form, but still a very, very dangerous side. We go into the next few games, the next few weeks, and then you've got the distraction of the FA Trophy as well, a tough game away to Fylde. It's a tough Christmas for us.
It is, and there's a few clubs who've got a tough December, by the way. I know, obviously, when we did that programme a couple of weeks ago on the Northern Goal Show, and we were looking at the Decembers that the North East teams have got in the National League North, and I don't think any of them have got what you'd say a favourable month. You mentioned the FA Trophy draw there. I mean, I literally, when I went through it when it came out, couldn't believe it. Like, there's not one North East team has got a favourable draw. Even, I think it's Spenny are the only one at home, and they've got Chorley, which is a really tough game.
Yeah,
but it is literally, if you said to the clubs that are in it, the six that are in it, what would be you draw you'd like to avoid? Probably every single one of them would have got that. You've got Spartans going to York, Gateshead going to Fylde, you've got Darlow going to Southport, where they just got beat. I think was it 3-0 a few weeks back. It's just even Mask, and a great side. But to go to Matlock, who are sat top of the Northern Premier Division, having said that, I'll be honest, I still think Mask can go there and beat them. But Morpeth having to go to Warrington, who are a top side in the Premier Division. So it was, I think I said it on Twitter, it was just an absolute rank draw for the region. But going back to your question, December is always seen as this pivotal moment in the season. It's one of the most well-versed phrases in football, isn't it? The crucial festive period and all that. And if Gateshead can come through their festive period and come into January with a fully fit squad, and still in and around the playoffs, or hopefully in those playoff places, then there's no reason why they can't kick on second half of the season.
Definitely. We've got a bit of, not breaking news, but we've got a bit of news. Bernard McWilliams has posted in the Gateshead FC Heed Army forum on Facebook. He's put, if anyone has been unable to book tickets online for tomorrow night's game, please comment below, as I'm working to access additional away tickets for Heed fans. So if you are trying to get tickets and you've been unsuccessful, get onto Facebook and say comment below Bernard's post, and he'll do what he can to help you out so you can get down there tomorrow.
Good to see Bernard up and about again as well.
Yeah, definitely was. We haven't had the podcast since then. We kind of knew that he was poorly, but thankfully he's on the mend, and hopefully we'll see him at a Gateshead game when he's fit and well enough to do so. And still working hard behind the scenes, even though he can't get to a game, which is great to see. But as I say, Mark, let you give a plug for the Northern Goals Show. I've been lucky enough to be a guest a couple of times, but
won't happen again. We're back on. We're recording on Wednesday night. You don't know that yet, Dave, but we're recording on Wednesday night, hopefully. Doing a preview, so we've kind of switched the show up a little bit, and it'll be a preview of this weekend's games. And I should say there are some absolutely huge games this weekend. You mentioned Spenny Gateshead. There's also in the East Division of the Northern Premier League, you've got Hebburn playing Mask, so that's a big northeast game. There's the Vars, so North Shields playing North Ferriby. So there are some genuinely big games around this weekend. So we'll be previewing them. And I still haven't sorted the guests. I've got to be honest. That's normally a last-minute job, but we always get there in the end.
Don't steal the secrets of podcasting.
What I meant is it's been arranged for ages. I just can't reveal because we're such big guests.
Are you free on Wednesday?
You can either. It's
1 p.m. on Wednesday. You get that message.
We have, like I say, we've adjusted a little bit and made the show a little bit different to what it was to kind of kick off the non-league weekend. And I think this weekend's a good weekend to kick off because there's so many huge games around the region. So looking forward to recording that.
Certainly is. Well, Mark, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to have you on. And I say Mark always keeps us right on the commentary as well.
Someone has to, mate.
I know.
Skills to pay the bills, Mark. That's all I've got to say.
That's my sign to go.
I come up with a corker this week. I got praised for it as well. I said this game is simmering earlier on. Then when we scored, it went from simmering to boiling. So I thought it was quite good.
That's good. I like it.
Better than Skills and the Bills. But
I don't like praising you too much, but that's all right. You've done well.
It was a good one. So it's really good.
Considering the rolling boil.
On that note, thank you very much, Mark. It's always a pleasure.
No problem.
Take care, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Bye. There we go, Mark Covers. We've got lots of messages have come on while we're on. Amber's put, it's nice to be back. I don't know if I already read that one out. Yeah, I think I might have done. Mr. Luke, a lot of TV money, TV coverage, pundits, and a massive atmosphere on the plate. There's so much to go with it, and it's a Friday night game with the ones that kick off the FA Cup weekend.
At the end of the day, Altrincham's got exactly the same outlook.
Exactly, and they've got the home crowd there, and I'm expecting that with there being problems for tickets online, I would imagine people are scrambling to get them. So, Gateshead FC Heat Army page. If you search for that on the search bar on Facebook, you'll find that. If you're not already a member, we'll accept you into there straight away. And you can comment on Bernard's post and he'll be able to help you get a ticket, hopefully. We've got a message from Craig Hilton. He's put us Danny Greenfield still injured. Believe he's training. Yes. Seeing photos today, as is Robbie Tinkler. Seeing photos of him training today, which is great to see. Don't know if it's too soon for tomorrow. But Mason Ford on that note, but I think Robbie Tinkler has been a big miss these last few games.
Couldn't agree more, Mason.
He has, but other players have stepped up, and it was great to see Ryan Womble. I think it's his first start, wasn't it? And the young lad.
To be fair, Ryan,
he did well. I remember he's been playing, the under-23 league. He's come into this, and it's a big step up. We know that it's sink or swim for some players, and he held his own. And he come out of it really well. Sam Pence, but even gents, what a fantastic win against Alfreton. Great late winner from Greg Ollie. The time wasting cost them in the end. Big credit to the crowd, 1,175. To say we mentioned that earlier on. It's amazing. Joey Agnew, he's put, is there a stream or commentary tomorrow? It is. It's BBC Radio Newcastle.
BBC Radio Newcastle, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so it'll be online and on. I believe it'll be on their FM and DABs.
Yeah,
I presume so.
We left in Peterborough, didn't he?
Yeah, Mr. Luke has put, what time is BBC coverage? I would imagine it would be 7:30 or maybe 7:15, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. I think they said we're going to have the show builds up on. The show starts at 6, and then we're going to have the build up and obviously team news and stuff. So just listen to Total Sport. I mean, Gary Mills is going to be on Total Sport tomorrow, so it's worth listening for that alone. So
yeah. David Tron's asking a question. Is, do you think they should fill the rest of the bench with players from the academy when they got injuries?
Yes. Simply yes.
I mean, there's players there. I mean, there's one player, but obviously he's out on loan at the minute, and I'd like to see him on the bench or given a try at some point in the season. That's Eddie Thomas. But that said, we've got a lot of attacking options. He's a young lad, and at the minute, you can't really justify bleeding a youngster in when we've got strikers in form the way we have.
Yeah, we'll have Davey, but Paul Blackett, if rumours are to be true, it could be a hernia.
I didn't know that. So breaking news.
Could be 2 and 2 and getting 10.
Yeah, but you've got Williams though, is there as cover as well. So
I don't see the point in having a under-strength bench. You might put a young kid on, might come on and make a name for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we will want you to share the show and subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like all of our social media, and here's a little message from someone to tell you how to do it. Well, I'll tell you what to do.
Hello, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe and share the show.
And, well, Mickey, where would I be if we didn't mention the ladies' team?
I know. I haven't got a game for a couple of weeks unless something's been rearranged. Didn't play on Sunday. As far as I know, it was meant to be a cup game this weekend, but I think that's been cancelled, but I'm not sure yet. and I can't go anywhere because I'm at the Gary Mills talking with yours
course.
truly.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of tickets still remaining. So if you want to do that, get on the Gates FC website.
But the last game they played at Liam Lane,
Yeah,
they played really well. I mean, Mont scored an absolute cracking goal.
and I believe that was the scoreline there. Sam Pelton's with a big 7-3 win for the ladies.
Yeah,
Massive congratulations to them.
massive congratulations to Jess Richardson. Scored her first goals in the Gateshead shirt, got a Salah hat-trick, and a fantastic display. What they call it? Mont's got one, Jazz got another couple, and I can't remember who scored it. Amber might be able to tell us if she can remember.
Yeah,
But it was a really good game. Really, really, really good game. Fell behind it.
Whereabouts are they in the league now?
The last time I looked, we were about third or fourth. I haven't had a look at the league table.
In the league table above.
Yeah?
It's not a bad way to start the season in the league above, is it?
No, they've done fantastic. They've lost a few players, mind, Davey.
Mm-hmm.
Lost Jade. Alicia's gone, and with a couple of others have decided to go elsewhere. Ellie Wilson's went to Bolton with Michael. I believe.
I think it's kind of
new players in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of players come in, and obviously new manager comes in. He's going to work with who he wants and try and strengthen the squad as he sees fit. So players come and go, and we thank all of the players that have played their part, because the players that played last season, doesn't matter, they played 2 games, 1 game, they played their part in a historic season.
It did, and I've just remembered who the goal was, Lindsay with a header. So I mean, you kind of fault them, and they've stepped up to the next league. Yeah, they've had a couple of dips where they had lost a couple of games. I mean, the cup tie against Harrogate, they didn't disgrace themselves.
No.
And they didn't play well against Hartlepool. But one thing I will say about them, it doesn't matter if they get beaten up, they'll give it all and never give up.
So you can't ask for much more, really, can you? It's hopefully we'll get one of the ladies players on soon, maybe next week or the week after. We'll try and get some more players on, people from the club. So we want to try and get some of the unsung heroes on, people from the back room, the people that are doing the things. And we haven't spoke to Chris Bell yet either, have we? We'd like to speak to him. Find out who the whingers are that have always got a niggling injury. That'd be good.
Must be sick of the poor Elliot.
Oh, hey, he's just unfortunate, isn't it, at the minute?
It is. I think the world Elliot Forbes, and I cannot wait to see. I just wish when he gets on the field, he stays injury free for the rest of it.
Well, in solidarity with Jack Hunter, I've grew the beard, and I've been trimming it in the same. So I've went for the Jack Hunter look this week.
Have you? I just had a shave today because I was like Grizzly Adams.
Oh yeah, I trimmed it in a bit late, but people haven't tuned in to find out. Me beard.
I mean, it only took me a week to get a full thick mustache, which is more than James Rushmore can say.
I don't know though. He had a fair bit of roughage on the top lip when I seen him on Saturday.
When did blather off?
That was it. That was an impressive stash. That it took me 3 weeks to grow this, and there's still patches in it. So Jesus. I know. Well, no.
I went to barbers, and he got my beard. He had to sharpen the cut 2 or 3 times. He went, "You have strong beard."
Mr. Lucas, but I'll be heading down to Spennymoor for the league game on Saturday, expecting a good way following for that game. Definitely, it should be a very tasty game. And also as well, that is another game that you should be getting your tickets for. They're available to buy now. So if you go on Gator FC social media, I think we've retweeted on the Heat Army account and shared it on Facebook as well. I think if not, we will buy later on after the show. So get your tickets. It's paramount in these days and times that you buy a ticket before you get to the game. It's not guaranteed to get in, sadly.
It's good for non-league football. One thing that when due to COVID, the interest in non-league footballers went right up in the northeast, right across the northeast. The crowds have gone up. Also,
as well, it gives clubs a good idea about stewarding. It'll, sometimes they might expect a big crowd and there might not be the away following or whatever, and it gives clubs a good idea on even food and beverage to buy in, so there's positives to it. I know it's a little bit strange. It might rub against the grain a little bit because some people like just to turn up and or decide they want to go to the game, but this is the times we live in, and I say
I've just got in the habit of doing it now.
At least clubs are getting money up front, keeping cash flow going. That is a massive positive. It really is. But also as well, let's have a moment celebration for Blythe Spartans being bottom of the league. Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of...
Here it is. Merry Christmas. Remember that song, Davey?
Agent Mickey Nelson's doing a fantastic job.
You know what it is? I don't like them up there, but I do like Nelson. I like a couple of the players Nelson's took up there.
Yeah, I do. I liked him when he was at Gateshead. He gave a great performances. He never shirked away from anything, and for his age, you wouldn't have thought he was knocking on 40 when he was.
He's fit as a lock. He's a lovely guy, Nelson. Just for Nelson, I'd like to see him succeed. And Stevie Watson
in the league below, when he has to try and bring him back up, I'll settle for that.
Like Stevie Watson at York, I thought he would have went down there and succeeded, and it just hasn't worked.
Yeah, I think there's been a few things have conspired against them there. COVID probably being one of the big things. Mr. Lucas, but are you going down to the game on Saturday by any chance? I'm not. I'll have the kids.
I'll be there.
My wife's away for our friend's 40th birthday, so I'll be missing that one, but I'll be following the game as closely as I can on social media. Or
they've got a mixer channel, Davey. You'll be able to listen to the game on.
Yeah, it depends if the kids will let us have one earphone in.
Just think I've got a Bluetooth speaker. Put it through there. I'll put it through your laptop.
The kids are gone mental, man, if I do that. They're not want to listen to that. But
just stick them in the living room, put the telly on.
They didn't even want to listen to their dad, man.
I don't understand that.
Swine. Well, right. Also, as well, we're going to say a big hello. Now, our apologies. I'm going to get the name right and I'm going to get the name wrong all in the same go. Is Kedwin's granny. She watches.
What a wonderful woman.
Yeah, and it's either called.
He's a wonderful man.
It's either Meg or Peg, and I do apologise for what it just my memories. I got told on Saturday, and I was like, "Was it Meg or was it Peg?" But either way, we love that you tune in and watch every week because she was asking where we were last Thursday, and just unfortunately we weren't there. But we've made up for it today with the show. So
you couldn't be the nicer family.
Yeah, absolutely lovely, and it's great that they've took Gateshead into the heart, as well as a lot of other families. We know there's a lot of players' families. Deborah Bailey's she's always retweeting stuff, which is amazing. There's John Ollie, he's always liking stuff and that, and there's lots of families, and we appreciate it as well. And we've had players' families reach out to help us with the YouTube channel, which we're very, very appreciative of. Give us some good advice and things like that.
And the Tinkler clan when Robbie's playing.
Yeah,
they come out en masse as well.
It certainly is. Oh, and I think it must be Meg. We've got there Meg Baker. Is it Meg Baker there? So it must be Meg, not Peg.
Thanks for the polos as well on Saturday, Meg.
Are you getting polos? Yeah,
I had terrible heartburn after the chicken and leek pie.
I had the mince pie. Mr. Lucas put the phone lines open. No, they're not open today. We've learned a lesson with that.
I must admit, Craig and Gordon is one of the highlights of the podcast for me.
We will open them, but just not what a night. We'll sort it out for a future show. When I'm feeling more like Alan Robson.
Get those phones.
Get those phones. Just a side note: has anyone watched any of Alan Robson's Ghost Hunts live on Facebook?
No.
It is like a parody. It is fantastic. He goes and hides in another room. And he goes, "Just stay here. I think I'm going to channel a ghost." And he's pressing like play on his phone, and he hears someone going, and he's going, "Are you there, pet? Are you there? Speak to us." And it's going on the phone. You're like, "What's up, you idiot?" Honest, great broadcaster, but where you're letting yourself down with that. But if anyone wants to
caller in.
Just go on night hours on Facebook and have a look at one of them videos. My word. And the chat's just as funny because he's just pressing play on a tape recorder and they're all going, "If you don't believe, leave." No, I believe he's pressing a tape recorder. Sam Pellets, but hopefully we can keep the crowds increasing. Great to see attendances over 1,000. It really is. That is so we mentioned before. We spoke to James Rushmore. An interview, if you look on the YouTube channel, or there is just an interview with him, with the work that he was doing and what he's done, and there's been a lot more done since then as well. You would have noticed the utilita partnership, the big banner, the flag that goes out on the pitch before the game. That is a massive thing, and hopefully that can blossom into more things with them, because they cover some massive clubs in the UK, and we're the only non-league club, and that is a shot in the arm. And credit to James Rushmore for reaching out to companies like that and making them things work. It's got the, what are you expecting if we win tomorrow against Alti? Well, I would have said another kid, but I've had a circumcision.
You had a circumcision, have you?
Not a circumcision. A circumcision. Not a circumcision. I cannot afford to lose the length, man.
A bit of a rip off that.
It's cool, you know. No, that snip. That's where I would be expecting if we win against Altrincham. But apparently it's not happening. My wife said no, so I'll just be happy. But no, can I just state before anyone rips this off YouTube and makes a little video? I haven't had a circumcision. Not that it makes any difference, but well, we learn a lot on the podcast, don't we? Sorry, Meg. Snorting like a pig and all laughing. Oh, man. Well, anyway, we'll get on before anyone mentions that in the comments. I would like to wish everyone who's going down on a safe journey there and come back. Come on the Heat, can't wait for the Spenny game on Saturday. Yeah, it's
can't wait. I'm looking forward to going down tomorrow. Yeah.
And Caroline Sills, always professional. Certainly is. You won't get this on
tape with serious though.
Nah. So anyway, on the circumcision special next week, we'll be doing it.
Well, you know what it is. You live and learn.
You learn to think before you speak is probably the one thing you want to do. And we've got here, are you worried about opening the phone? You are doing a kind of job yourself.
Well said, Charlie.
Nah,
Charlie probably isn't the right name to put into that conversation either.
I know. It's well, we've got 10 minutes left, so if anyone wants to ask any questions, if you're going down to the game as well, let us know. We'll give a shout out. And
can I put a question?
Go on then.
To those who were on the chat facility, if you were to pick a player of the season, who's your top three? Get some in.
We'll get that up. Who's your top three players of the season? And so I'm just composing myself after realizing what I said. So,
well, what you call we're talking about the clothesline. Did you hear how loud that song for Ollie was when you come off the pitch?
Oh, I know, it was great, wasn't it?
It was absolutely phenomenal.
It really was.
Couldn't believe how loud it was. What's the matter? Are you getting quizzed?
No, my wife's just come through and said I'm supposed to be talking about football, not me balls. Well, Pet, you keep them in your purse, so I have to talk with them because I never see them. Mason Ford, he's put Langstaff, Story, and Ollie. You cannot argue with that. There's a lot of contenders in there, whatever way you put them, in what order. Sam Pelton's put Langstaff, Story, and Scott. Say that some of the usual suspects: David Tron, Kedwin, Langstaff, Owen Bailey. See that there's so many players that are just performing, and it's just it's lovely to see. And you would think there's more to come. There's more comments here. Fantastic. We've got Macaulay Langstaff, Kedwin Scott, Lewis Story. A lot of the same names are going to come up. But it's nice to see there isn't just the school scorers getting mentioned. There's players at the back as well, and that tells you everything about the squad, doesn't it? It's see, I would put Dan Ward in contention as well because I think he's probably one of the most.
Dan Ward played well. Alex Nicholson has played. I mean, I'm not surprised by that, but Alex Nicholson's another one who's been pretty consistent as well.
Yeah,
Matty Jacob.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's what about the goalkeeper, as well. He's
Chappers has done well as well. So,
well, I think not that anyone's got any favoritism, but Meg's put Scott, and Scott. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I couldn't even guess who it's going to be at the end of the season because everyone's putting a lot of things out there. We've got a one here from Ken Richardson. You have no idea how difficult it is to pick a man of the match every game with this set of players. It's fantastic. It is really good. And I say Mickey interrupted me and Ken's wrestling conversation. We're talking about AEW. Yeah. I know. Sad.
2 grown men mostly men in the underpants.
Doesn't get any better.
Even Meg doesn't like the wrestling.
Yeah, well, Gordon Mann's put Chapman, Story, and Langstaff. I bet Meg loves the wrestling. Yeah, I tell you, she'd love to see someone take a chair across the temple. Right. Let's keep them coming in. Keep your top 3 players of the season coming in. It'd be fantastic. Also, right, before we go, subscribe. We've got about 8 minutes left. We'll stay on. People are still sending messages. People are still watching, which is amazing. Thank you very much. Just please like and subscribe and follow on the social medias. We're trying to put up more content and advertise the shows well in advance when we know we can do them. So please, do that. It really does help. The viewing figures right across the board are doing very well. Also, as well, share the Gary Mills one because it's got a bit of a not just a Gateshead fans pull. It would appeal to fans of yesteryear who remember when Nottingham Forest were the team that they were, and other teams around the country might get to watch it and get to have a look. We've got messages coming in here. Adam Campbell has done well so far this season. He certainly has. I was going to pick the gaffer, but that would be a bit weird. No, Mike, he's always solid, always going to be a contender. And when are the fan interviews coming? Well, we'll sort them out in the coming weeks. People have to reach out to us and let us know if they want to come on. Because I do reach out to people, and I get a lot of no's because people don't like to come on camera. So it's, if you're willing, please message us and we'll get you on. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to speak to some of the newer fans as well.
Definitely. That's what we want. We want you to reach out. I can ask them, I'm blue in the face. There's a lot of people who we'd love to have on, or there's a lot of older fans. I'm not mentioning them by name because they don't want to come on. They're not comfortable. But there's some great stories and games to be talked about from yesteryear that will sadly disappear. And this is a way of recording some of those memories as well. So hopefully it'll be good. But Mr. Luke, he's I'll be up for it again. Well, we'll get him on, and Mason Ford's I'll do an interview. Well, there we go. We're getting them lined up. We'll reach out and we'll get these people on in the coming weeks. It should be really good, and hopefully we'll be with an FA Cup game to talk about, and we'll hopefully be getting some extra attention. Hopefully some away fans as well joining in. We want to find out what about who gated on, what we're about. We'll go question for Mickey. Who's your player of the season for the ladies?
Oh wow, there's a question. Oh, at the minute, if I was to pick a top 3 for the ladies, in no particular order, Monty would be in there. Liv would be in there. And I said Monty, Jazz, Monty, Jazz and Liv, in no particular order.
Some good players there.
And close but no cigar is Lindsay when she can play. Jade Halliday. Obviously,
Carly's a pivotal player, you know. That's so
Carly's pulled us out of it a lot of times. One thing I will say is I love watching them. And the families who are down there. The lasses, Libby West family, Joanne and Davy, and the granddad. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. And I've got Dion's family and Amber's family. It's a nice tight knit group, you know. That's just three of the ones we speak to, and Katie Lemon's mom and Liv's mom, and
yeah,
it's a really good crack.
It's fantastic. Well, hopefully we can get some of them on as well. It'd be nice to, you know, have their perspective. Mason Ford, I mean, if you did a player of the season for a lone player, who would you pick? Well, we only got the two. So it's hard one, that, because, you know, Chapman, really good, and Matty Jacobs settled in very quickly as well. So
I like Matty Jacobs at left back. I really do.
Yeah.
And
when we spoke to him on here, he was a lovely young lad as well.
Well, to be honest, Davey, without blowing smoke up the mouth, they're all a good bunch of lads, you know what I mean? Everyone that we've been on, we've had a good laugh with, and you can speak to them if you go into the games and you're lucky enough to see coming through the, what they call it, the cafe.
Yeah.
I'll stand and have a bit natter with you.
Definitely.
So, and Mike Williams and Mike and Busted are just absolutely fantastic, the Tarty.
They certainly are. Also, as well, you may have seen guest on the podcast spoke to Gary Mills, and obviously Gated legend, went viral the past couple of days with Phil Turnbull. With the obviously he's an electrician in away from the football pitch, and he made news headlines by trying to fix the floodlights in the Dunstan versus Marine game down at Marine. So that was great to see, and there's some banter online from some.
He's on Total Sport, actually.
Was he?
Tonight, wow. And he said he only got one of them working.
Did he?
He says, but was it? He was asked. He's putting himself forward for performance of the weekend. He says because we penalty went in the top bins as well.
Oh,
and Marco Gabbiadini says, I think he's overcooked it now.
Oh no, it's lovely to see that, you know, this is he's lighting up wherever he plays, isn't he? Boom.
Lighting up. Yeah. I tell you what, a bit more with which he was on that game with South Shields a few years back.
Controversy. We'll not go down that route. We've already shot ourselves in the foot by mispronouncing medical procedures that we've had. I say on that note, remember, if you are in the market for getting a ticket for Altrincham, if you're having trouble buying them online via the website where they are available, go on Gator FC Heed Army page on Facebook. Bernard McWilliams has put a post. If you can comment on there, he'll try and help you get a ticket, which is fantastic that the club's helping to get fans down there. Please don't travel without a ticket. Don't want anyone not to get into the game and to travel all that distance. If you are going, enjoy it. Remember, Saturday as well, Spenny Motorway, get your tickets in advance, get yourselves down there. And it should be an absolutely fantastic, well, fingers crossed, a fantastic week. So we know the lads will give their all, and the FA Cup can be a cruel mistress, but let's go into that game and you know, have the belief, and I'm sure the lads will do us proud, whatever the result.
I'm saying I bet Spenny want us to go into extra time and penalties.
Probably, but as I say, it's going to be a hopefully an exciting week for Gateshead. And on that note, we'll be back next week, unless we've had a magnificent result on tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But so we'll plan for next week, next Thursday, and say a big thank you to everyone that's messaged in, and say I'm off to learn how to say things. So on that note, Mickey, thank you very much, and thank you to Mark Covers as well that joined us tonight. We'll see you next week, and thank you very much for joining us on the Heed Army podcast.
Cheers.